Nice to meet you again.
Good to see you. Okay.
Unfortunately, it's raining now, but that saves some tires.
Please
Yeah,
proceed to the
right.
highlighted route and then the route guidance will start.
First okay, and then
Switch that
now
off.
it's okay. Anyway, we do some.
Backwards and forwards.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Now you are free to go wherever you want.
Okay, I'll do the road up and down.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start first for the more technical one. What kind of key technologies you implement in the new Focus ST
Yep.
as a performance car?
Yeah. What we have done for the Focus ST is the same as on Fiesta ST. We focused on 4 areas in the car. One is driving dynamics. The other one is the engine and engine performance. Then the seating position, and also the noise. So the things we've done to support the driving dynamics is ELSD, electronic limited slip differential,
Which is a first.
which is the first application
Yep.
on an ST. We have we have to change the steering completely. You have 2 turns left and right, so very quick steering and reduce the friction in the steering.
More like a go-kart.
It's really like a go-kart. It's very direct and it's almost frictionless. So it's very light steering, but very precise and very linear. And the linearity is very important because of your brain is working very linear. So it's easy if you put a certain angle on your steering, then you have
To see the direction going exactly as you predict.
exactly as you predicted and exactly as you expect. Your eyes follow the road, and basically your hands follow your eyes.
Okay.
So that makes the driving experience very, very nice.
Yeah.
And it basically avoids you getting tired very quickly if you do quick turns.
Yeah.
Then we have the STDR system, the steering disturbance reduction program, which is in the steering system itself. So if you have disruptions from the road,
Yep.
it will be filtered out. And then we have yaw damping. So if you had high speed, to give you the stability of the car, basically rotating about the height axis.
Yep.
And we call it the Z-axis of the car.
Yep.
That's dampening that down, and that is via the ELSD system as well. And then we have torque vectoring,
Which is a classic for
Exactly.
the
And it's
performance.
and it's using the brakes.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are the elements for dynamics. Other is the vertical dynamics of the car. We put a CCD system in, the continuous damping control.
Yeah.
Which is giving you a very comfortable drive. When you're in normal mode, when you go in sport mode, you have a different setup, and in track mode you have again a different
Yep.
setup. And the mode settings is new in the Focus ST. We had it in Fiesta ST, but on the Focus ST we definitely made sure that you have a big differentiation between the different modes. So you have the normal mode, it gives you a relatively comfortable but still sporty but comfortable high-speed driving, and with obviously the strong engine, the 280 horsepower. And also, if you go to sport mode, it gives you a very sporty feel. The suspension gets a bit stiffer, the steering reaction gets different, etc., etc. So that's what we have done for the car, especially. Again, what is different to Fiesta ST is that we have now 2 engines. We have a petrol engine, I mentioned the 280 horsepower,
And a diesel one.
420 Newton meter, and a diesel one with 180 horsepower.
But do you think it's, let's say, politically correct to have a diesel as on a performance car?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Because there is still customers that want to have a sporty car but do a lot of mileage. And still the diesel in terms of CO2, it's still further reduced versus the petrol. The petrol has 179 grams per kilometer, and the diesel is around 125 grams. So it's still, I think it is politically correct, and there is demand for diesels still.
I know that somehow Ford GT was an inspiration for you regarding the technology on this car. What is the connection?
The connection to the GT is the anti-lag system, the turbo system, which basically keeps the turbo spinning If you go off the throttle, normally you close the throttle, and then the turbo starts reducing its speed. We keep the throttle valve open, and then the turbo keeps spinning. So it's a lot faster, picking up the speed again and the power again. And that is something we are doing in Ford Performance. We have kind of a hierarchy of cars. The GT is obviously the top. We call it Elite. It's a road-going race car. And we start using technology, and it's kind of raining down. The anti-lag turbo is one of them. But also, if you look at the base engine, the block of the GT is the same that we use in F-150 Raptor. And this engine, the 2.3, is the same that we use in the Mustang, and we also used in the RS. So the technology is
even in the RS is the same engine.
It's the block, the base
block,
engine,
okay.
the structure of the engine is the same. So you see lots of familiarity coming back. Also, and you can't look outside because the weather is so bad, but if you look at the exhaust pipes of the 5-door, they look a bit like the Focus RS. Big twin pipes on left and right of the car, relatively large pipes. So that's kind of a little, how do you call it, twinkle back to the RS.
How do you position in terms of performance this car in general terms, and also in the Focus range? And if you are familiar with the spicy sauce, like yellow, green, red, how do you making, if you like this comparison, how you position this new ST?
Yeah, but we have this kind of hierarchy: GT at the top, then you have the high performance cars, HB1 we call them, that are the RSs and the Mustang GT350 and GT500. Then below is the STs. So the ST if you talk Fiesta, you talk 200 horsepower, talk Focus, you talk 280, 300 horsepower-ish, so that area. And underneath you have the ST line, the cars that look like a performance car, or look like a sports car, but don't have the performance, and customers don't need the performance. So that is how you see it. In terms of your color of sauce, I would call this yellow.
Super.
Because then we need some space to the top in the hierarchy. And it is spicy. It is a very fast car. Actually, the petrol version, the 280 horsepower, is 420 Newton meters of torque, which is the highest torque you get in the.
I agree.
In the C car segment.
I was surprised. It's very high.
It's very powerful. So the in-gear acceleration, like from 80 upwards, it is faster than the RS. So there is some kind of progress in what we do, but it is very fast and very strong. That's what we're looking for. So there is some spice in there, but it is still a very affordable car. It is an affordable sports car. Not extreme, but what we looked at, and I mentioned the 4 categories earlier: the vehicle dynamics, the engine, and the seat, and the noise. What we try to do is to have a very homogeneous car. Maybe bad English, but we call it a round car.
I understand.
So it's really everything plays together: the steering feel, the throttle pedal response, the brake pedal response. It's nicely coming together. That is what we try to do, to make it a car that flatters you as a driver. You can be very, very quick, very fast, but it never an overkill. It will never surprise you.
Now I'm switching to the television questions.
Shall I turn the camera?
Yes, please.
Just go back?
Please, yes.
Let's find a safe spot to do that.
And here, if it's okay for you, I will appreciate more concise kind of answers.
Shorter?
Shorter, yes. Full of content, if you can. Because the tendency in television, like in other stupid video programming, is to make it very short.
Very quick.
And you see that the young generations are spending zero seconds for everything. They don't understand nothing, but it's zero anyway. And I have to have always in mind. So now I will ask, as I said, more general questions. So what kind of customer we have nowadays in Europe for this kind of cars, performance cars? What kind of behavior, how you describe this and how they are, because of course, make no sense to make a car for I don't know 1,000 people.
Yeah, exactly. But the customers we are looking for is a variety of people. Yeah, you have basically fathers of families. They really like to have the performance car, but still a very practical car. Yeah, we have the 5-door and the wagon, so it's practical performance. You have fun with it, but it's also an everyday vehicle. So that's what we're looking for. And customers are basically from fairly young people to up to 70s, 80s.
I remember the years when 2-liter engine was able to deliver only 100 horsepower.
Yep.
Nowadays, on this car, we have a 2.3 EcoBoost engine capable of 280 horsepower and an impressive torque of 420 Newton meters. What happened? How it was possible in a relative short amount of time to go to huge resource of power and torque?
Yeah, I think there was a few answers. The turbo technology has improved over time. So the older engines you talked about, 80 horsepower, 90 horsepower over 2 liter, no turbos. And I think the material in the engines have changed a lot. So the internal pressures in the cylinders can be very, very high. Yeah, and also the precise injection systems that we have and the direct injection systems move that power up quite drastically. Yeah, and the engine, that is, I think it's still not the end. Yeah, if you look at the motorcycle industry, 200 horsepower per liter. Yeah, so that is where we're moving to. Yeah, that is the liter performance that we are going to.
Okay. Talking about the future, how the electrification will impact your job? It is the electric vehicle a chance for a performance car could be even better than what we have today?
I guess so, yes. There is a big challenge, you know that. And everybody has the challenge. And I think it's very exciting to be in the car industry right now, because there's a lot of change, a lot of fast change. In terms of from the engineering perspective, the electric engine is very, very good because they have torque at low end, so you can go to very high speeds very quickly. A lot less mechanic parts, so you don't need a combustion engine, you don't need a transmission. So that's all kind of the benefits. There is still potentially some doubts with range, the electrical capability of the batteries. Lots of people are working on solutions on that. And I think if you look at the future, to be honest, I don't know what the answer will be. Definitely, also in performance cars, there will be some level of electrification. Whether those are hybrids and some sorts of hybrids or fully electrical cars, I think the future will tell. But to get to the CO2 levels we need to get to, I think there is a must to get to some form of electrification.
From an engineering point of view, I mean, from the overall efficiency point of view, do you think, because there are manufacturers claiming that a hybrid model could be and could deliver a better performance because it's just combining the electrical motor and the normal engine, delivering more? To me, it's a bit inefficient to do that, but how do you see this, and if there is any potential in the near future?
Yeah, I think if the use of the car will potentially change. So if you go in cities, a hybrid would enable you to drive emission-free. Yeah, so that is a big benefit. And also, you can go longer time, higher speed on motorways with your combustion engine. So in principle, it's an ideal mix. The disadvantage of a hybrid is that you have to get additional technology in the car, so you have to still your combustion engine and your transmission.
Even the weight is bigger
and
because of everything.
Exactly, and that is one of the big disadvantages. So you're carrying whatever 200.
We have to say that means more consumption, more pollution, more CO2.
Yeah. But in some cities you can go emission free.
Yep.
So that is a choice we have to make. And again, at this point in time, you don't have to make the choice, but the choice will be there. So I think that is one of the big changes that will come, I guess, in the future. Also the acceptance of the public towards combustion engines toward performance cars will potentially change. And also the acceptance of cities, getting cars into the city will potentially change. You see some areas, London is doing that already for a long time. You see changes in Amsterdam and in Denmark and in Norway. So that whole mindset will also change. So again, what the right answer will be, I don't know. I really don't know.
What will be your advice for a driver of such a car? Because obviously this car has a huge power, a huge potential of accelerating, speeding, which can be dangerous, obviously.
Yes, but what I would suggest to those drivers, have fun, but know where your limits are, know what you can do, because you have to drive safely, really safely, for yourself, for the people in the car, but also for people outside the car, because you endanger them as well. And if you really want to go onto the limit, go onto a racetrack. We have lots of racetrack through Europe, which you can have track days. You have lots of fun with people that have the same passion, the same hobbies that you are. So I just advise, if you do that, go on the track and then have fun on that one. The rest, really, please be safe, drive safely, and drive responsibly as well.
One last question is the technical one regarding acceleration. This car, as it is today, it's 0-100 about 5 seconds.
Yep.
Do you imagine in the next years, let's say 10 years, 15 years, with a very good electrification solution, to go to 3 seconds, to 2 seconds?
Absolutely. If you look at the cars that are advertised right now, with more than 1,000 horsepower, electric horsepower, you will get into the 3-second area really, really easily.
So in this case, you don't need anymore a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a McLaren, because your Focus ST will deliver the same performance.
Correct. I am looking forward to that.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure.
You're very welcome.